kids, the children have to be a year and a half old before they can eat in the main dining room at dinner. And there's so many children that it almost has to be. But afterwards, at dinner, everyone eats dinner together. And on Friday nights, there's a big, you went there? There's a big like sit-down dinner with like a nice meal that's served like in a way.
For Shabbat.
What's the average breakfast like?
Average breakfast is really the best meal. Because it's like there's always like different types of yogurts and all different kinds of cheeses and herring and different kinds of vegetables.
Their breakfasts are huge.
Huge.
Absolutely.
Lots of fresh bread and eggs.
No bacon and eggs?
No bacon. A lot of eggs. And on Saturdays, most families eat at home. Saturdays, most families eat all their meals at home.
And the average meal besides Shabbat is like what? I mean, is it a sit-down dinner or?
The meals they're basically like self-service in a way. Like you take your plate.
Yeah.
It's like in a way cafeteria. So you take all the food. Like you want to make a salad, you take it all to the table and make it. But mostly it's cafeteria style. And at lunchtime there's a hot meal. Like that's the big meal of the day for dinner meal.
And after the Shabbat, what's Shabbat like?
Shabbat is like.
And we were there for Shabbat.
There's a big meal. And usually on Friday evening there's some kind of activity, like there's a movie or someone's put on like a reading or there's a lecture coming in or a play. But a lot of times there's theatrical groups that come and give shows. Or it's in a way like it's a home entertainment evening. There's a committee that plans activities for Friday night. And
what type of activities do they have during the week?
During the summer there's a lot of activities. Like always, all year round, there's at least one movie a week. And in the summer, there's a lot of like classes for different kinds of crafts, like weaving or things of that sort. And there's readings and there's like drama groups.
Mari, is the kibbutz very religious?
No.
I was just going to ask that. I don't hear where they have any prayers or any services or anything. Like on
There
Shabbat.
are religious kibbutzim, but
Yeah.
the kibbutzim of the labor movement are almost on principle not very religious. There's in the dining hall on Friday evenings they light candles and they say a prayer and they do a very short, like 5-minute prayer. And that's basically the only, besides the high holidays, that's about basically.
So in other words, they act sort of as a reform.
They don't like to be known that they could possibly like reform Jews, but that's what they are.
Well, you are what you are, you know.
No, but they
Whatever
view the
you
reform
call it.
movement as like most Israelis think like Judaism. Either you're very religious or you're not Jewish, and that's Judaism.
How do they celebrate the holidays?
All the holidays are celebrated.
Like, tell us some.
Like Shavuot. They're all celebrated in terms of like their biblical background. Like the holiday of the harvest is celebrated like everyone has a sukkot, a sukkah, like a house with the branches and the fruits, and everyone like builds them in like by their houses in the neighborhood, and the children learn about it in school, same way that they would in religious school here. But sometimes they'll come and everyone will come out and see some of the harvesting, and everyone for maybe a week they'll only eat the harvested vegetables and fruits. Or
What do they do for Passover?
Passover was a big seder.
Do they change their dishes and
They don't change the dishes, but on Torah what they did was they only served matzah, but there was bread also inside. And most people like clean their houses out, and a lot of people at home use two sets of dishes. But for the whole kibbutz, it's impractical to have a whole another set of dishes and people don't want that. But there are kibbutzim, especially now.
They serve matzah and bread.
Mm-hmm.
They don't serve matzah.
No.
Only serve matzah, but there's bread for those that want it.
Makes me look pretty good, huh?
Mari?
No.
What is the housing like? You said everyone has a house,
The housing is like, Jamie said like the apartment. The apartment I was living was kind of,
pretty modern.
it's pretty modern.
Kitchens and everything.
There's
Even
like,
though you don't
there's like
use them, or?
there's a kitchen, like
Still.
everyone bakes incredibly because they don't cook. Everyone bakes incredibly. Always bake, like they have tea. At 5 o'clock there's always tea. Wherever you go, anywhere in the house, people run around visiting each other.
That's the British influence.
For tea and cake.
The English influence.
And there's like there's a parent's bedroom, and there's a fairly large bedroom for the children, and like a family room, a sitting room, and a little kitchen, and a little like place, like a little like eating room.
And is the furnishing provided for you?
Basic
or-
furnishings provided in most, and like if you're always on kibbutz, like when you get married, you get a certain allowance to buy and you just get started. And most people have been outside of the kibbutz or have connections outside of the kibbutz where they get a present or whatever.
So that there is their own personality.
But basic everything is provided.
Lita and I were in three homes, or three or four homes. And each one is the same building, but they all look different. And most of them in the family room will have bookcases and stereos and their own artwork on the wall and whatever they've collected, and a small kitchen, but it has a refrigerator, then you see, and an oven, and then they have little electrical appliances of a toaster stove or a little this or a little that. And it seems like they eat more than just tea in the house.
Yeah, everyone. I mean, a lot of times. Also a lot of times people eat dinner at home, and they go down and they go down and take whatever's being served, and they come and they make it their own way or.
Mari, is the electrical current 220 or 110?
220.
It's different cycles too.
And different hertz.
Well, they have adapters, don't they? Like if you have the American-made electric
They have adapters, but it's best to because every year or every 2 years, every 5 years, you end up buying a new converter.
Do you remember all the activities? Like you say, there's activities in the night for groups, but it seems to me there were, like, you could do 2 or 3 things every night there. There's photography classes.
Yeah, like
also-
student like classes. They have like photography classes and household plant like classes, like learning about all different kinds of plants, and they have things like there's a woman coming. They're Americans. They used to come. He's a reform rabbi, and they used to come like for 6 weeks just to stay. And they decided to move to the kibbutz. So his woman's a professional
Professional.
It's a professional. It's horrible. Professional weaver. So she was giving like weaving lessons, and then there's ceramic lessons and like modern dance and
That's very interesting.
there's a physical education teacher, so there's swimming. You can take swimming lessons. And basically, and there's everything.
How big is it? I mean, the area, it sounds like it's just a whole entire city.
It is in essence the whole entire city. There's about, I think it's about, like the fields run about 10 miles in length. And maybe less than that.
They do a lot with what they have.
A lot. The kibbutz itself is, I'm not sure how big like in numbers it is, but it's about as big as like Westminster Mall.
That's a good comparison.
I don't know how I can.
Including housing and everything.
And housing and everything. Housing, and yet most like the older kibbutzim and the younger kibbutzim especially are trying. They keep like a usually one-story housing, like little cottages. And like they have usually like a front porch and a little back porch and grass and everything. It's like a beautiful garden on it.
Can you have pets?
Lots of dogs and cats and anything else.
What happens when you get old, like Grandma or Uncle Marvin, and you can't
Like
work?
Grandma.
You can't
You put
work
'em
as
on-
hard.
you
And
put
you
'em on-
have to cut your hours down. And you
You
need
work as-
medical attention.
You work
Is
as
it
hard
available?
medical attention is always available, and like on very close to Jerusalem and Hadassah and all those big hospitals, and it's always available.
That's my adopted.
It's Gamma Hadassah. And you work if you have a medical problem and you can't work, you don't work as much. But after, I'm not sure, like women at 50 go back to working 6 hours a day if they feel they want to. And men, men about 55, they can decide to.
Do they play Jim Rummy in the kibbutz?
No, they put them out to the caves.
I mean, they do retire at a certain age.
Mm-hmm. And so obviously we haven't had a generation of retiring people because the people that have established the kibbutz are now the oldest, like 55, 56.
Oh, that's old.
Young, so they haven't stopped working.
Well, they're young,
Mari,
yeah.
what kind of vacation schedules do people have?
Yearly, everyone gets 12 days off a year, and 4 days, 5 days paid vacation in a way. Like the kibbutz rents like an apartment on like the beach, some of the beach towns, apartments in the beach towns, or they set up like a camping area and by like a lake, and then like every week like a family takes the car. When they return it, another family goes. And those are like the 5-day vacation. And also there's, and like every year there's the whole kibbutz like in 2 turns takes a trip. They go, I don't know, they go maybe to the beach, or some years they go to Sinai. They went to Sinai.
The whole.
Like 300 people would like, where they'd rent buses and everyone would go. Kind of thing. So basically, I mean, there's about 20, you know, 6 days if you're sick you don't work. But there's almost like 20, it's like 20 days a year vacation.
How is learning the language? And do most of the people speak English already? So
On Torah, everyone speaks English almost, because half the people are either are South African. There's like about 12 Americans and some British people on Torah. But and South African's really, it's very South African. It's very, very South African oriented. Actually on Torah it's almost hard to learn Hebrew because everyone spoke so much English. But I mean, after going through classes, and you have to really try to speak English, because also, I mean, people are more than willing to speak. Most people are more than willing to speak English.
What are the children taught?
In the schools, they speak Hebrew. And like while I was speaking with my children in the summer, I spoke Hebrew to them. And there's a lot of most children that have South African parents or English-speaking parents. Their parents speak to them in English, and depending on how strict they are, because usually you hear someone speaking to you in Hebrew and you answer back in Hebrew. You have to really speak to your children in English to let them, so they'll learn.
But then how do they learn Hebrew?
At school.
At school, all with their friends. Everyone makes.
And can you tell us your plans?
My plans are after when I go back, like all things skipped. We're gonna go live on a young kibbutz.
Who are we?
Ronen and I. We're
After the wedding?
After the wedding. It's going to be here.
Yay! Does she know about it?
We'll have to discuss that with the next. We want to go in the 3rd week of October. 2nd October. We want to go live on a young kibbutz for a year, a brand new kibbutz. There was
Pardon me, Mari, is Ronan coming here in October, or is he married in October?
He's coming here in October. And if we get married, Hale will be in April or May, June.
In June. Or July.
The young right now this kibbutz that there's a lot of my friends that I've met through the year that they formed the kibbutz. It's about a half a year old, about 40 people on top of this hill. It's overlooking the Mediterranean, and it's really nice.
can anybody just go form a kibbutz or what?
Actually, almost it's very difficult because the kibbutzim are all started with the help of the movement, of the kibbutz movement and the government, and they're very heavily subsidized.
People have started that. The government owns all the land, so you have to first go to the government.
To get permission,
And
and the government builds all the housing.
And the government,
Take
Take an intermission.
Why, where are you going?
we're going to take an intermission here. One of the guests is leaving.
The question I have, Mari, is what disadvantages do you find in that type of life? Or
Well,
things
I don't really feel like I miss. I guess I miss the things that were always mine that I didn't have there, but I will have them.
Like
things that I collected through the years.
Like a little doll.
Like a little doll.
Uh-huh.
And those are my things, and to me they're part of me in a way. But the most frustrating thing, really, of being there and nothing here is family. That's the thing that's really frustrating.
Is what?
Family. You have your own family, but you still feel in a way like it was so hard to get letters. Actually, the hardest thing I remember once Amy and Danny sent me. They sent a Karen out to me with Karen when she came back, a little like newsletter. And it was like, what's happening here? And it was all the stuff about, Daddy and Leah doing this, and Mama and Paul doing this, and David is doing this, and like David's mom and Danny and I had this party and this and that, and there was this whole like 3-page newsletter of what's happening. Like we used to do these newsletters, and it's just like I wasn't there, and I was not even mentioned. I wasn't even, I mean, I wasn't part of their lives, and that was very hard. I mean, of course, people remember people. I mean, I'm in part of everyone's life, but lives go on. And it's my decision, and that's the hardest thing. Okay.
But I think you find that in whether you were living in Texas or
Just
in
in different-
Irvine. I mean, I feel that, and because I,
In a different degree, though.
Oh, definitely. So,
It's
but
just everyone.
it's
You
a
feel. I
natural
mean,
thing that you do.
I think it's natural for people not to live with their parents when they start their own lives, but it's very
But
far.
it's exaggerated just because
Right.
like,
You
you
can't
can't just make a
call.
long distance phone call really
Or drive or
you know, it's exaggerated, the distance is far.
If you could come once a year for a Hanukkah or something, it would close the gap. Then it would be like Texas.
If it was once a year, then it would be like Texas.
Yeah. Tell me that story about what happens to the old parents. Can they, and when they want to come to the kibbutz? I like that story.
A lot of people, when they're like people's parents, I feel they retire. They come to the kibbutz and they retire on the kibbutz. And I think I'm not sure exactly how it works. How like they pay they pay some kind of fee, like, or they don't. I mean, they come. I don't know. There's certain fee, which is quite minimal. And they have housing on the kibbutz, and they eat all the meals on the kibbutz, and they're like they're given all the rights of a kibbutz member, except for the voting rights.
Can they stay home?
As long as they want, they can have telephones and TVs in their house. They can have anything. Actually, they're changing. Everyone's gonna be able to have a TV in their house. Most kibbutz seem to have TVs in their homes. But they can have.
Can they afford it?
The kibbutz will buy a TV for everyone, unless people. I mean, already a lot of people have TVs in their closets because parents have given them a TV, a portable TV or something, and they can't use it. They gave it to them knowing one day the kibbutz would decide in principle that they can use it.
Oh, right now you are not allowed to.
They made a decision that in 2 years' time they'll start buying TVs for everyone.
Is
But
there
those
like
that have it can't use it?
And those that have one can't use it until everyone has one. Until everyone has it now.
Is there a TV like in a main hall or anything?
There's a
like
lot of
that?
TVs, like TV centers, like little rooms, and
Right.
little like clubhouses.
More public.
In other words, they won't let one have something that the
The
other
other
one
ones
can't have.
can't have.
How are things like? Are there weddings there or funerals or?
There's weddings and in our funerals as well. Weddings it's a much different kind of wedding. Were you there for a wedding?
Yeah, I was there for a wedding and I went to another kibbutz in Kiryat Shimon.
They're very
Informal?
informal.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone celebrates. Like, there's a big, huge meal, and everyone celebrates. You invite your own guests, but like the people on the kibbutz that are there,
That you don't know.
that you don't know, like
But they're welcome.
everyone's in a way welcome, and
What does the bride and groom wear?
simple clothes. That actually, I mean, they wear like men usually. Men wear like maybe like a white shirt with embroidery on it, and a woman will wear a dress, not a veil, but not a real fancy. Very simple.
It's not a designer's dress because then they'll never have a chance to wear it again.
See, they don't have to worry. They have the hall and the food.
And the food in the house there.
Self-catering.
And they wear it outside or inside if it's winter.
It's the same for a bar mitzvah, though, isn't it?
The
They're
bar
similar?
mitzvahs are very different. Like, there's the whole class has a bar mitzvah. And they do like a big show, and they have bar mitzvahs like when you turn 13, you have a year like you do like everyone picks a project. Like one boy picked a project that every time a member had a birthday, would bring them a flower. So that was his bar mitzvah year project. And every time someone had a birthday, this bunch of boys would run around bringing people presents and flowers. That was their year project.
Are all girls and boys? They all have bar mitzvahs and
Mhm.
bat mitzvahs.
Now, tell us about your bat mitzvah.
Well, I did it. I had a button, but it wasn't through the kibbutz. I did it through this rabbi that was the Reform movement. It was through the program. And I did it because I always thought that I was missing. Like I didn't really understand Judaism, so I thought maybe if I did it, I would have a better idea.
And did you?
Through the classes I studied, and I really learned the history, like religiously and historically, and I studied and I read and I had the whole bat mitzvah, and I didn't feel any different. I kind of.
After you had it, you didn't feel
I
like
think
it
it's. I think Orthodox Judaism is. It's like any Orthodox movement, and I think it's very phony. I don't know. It's not that it's phony. It's very real to them. It's very real to them, but I just can't understand it. I don't think it's natural.
Well,
I
because
think it's
you were
very
raised,
forced.
because you
Maybe
were
because
raised
of the way I was
so
raised.
differently, yeah.
I'm not saying, I shouldn't say it's phony. It is not
No, it
phony.
isn't phony. It's
Because
very
to them it's
real.
very real, but I don't understand
it's
it. And I
very
don't think it's
necessary.
very. Some say it's necessary.
It is
Should we have a
necessary.
religious discussion about it?
No.
The basis of Judaism is that only religion and belief in God gives you morality.
No, maybe what I said is unclear. I think the basic ideas of Judaism are, I believe in them with all my heart. Ideas of Judaism, and I believe I'm a Jew, and I'm very much want to, I would show everyone that I'm Jewish, but that's not. Basic ideas of Judaism I believe in totally, but the reason why I can't accept Orthodox Judaism is because of the practices. I don't think I'm less of a person because I show my legs or my arms or my hair. I don't think that I'm less of a person because I eat milk and meat. I think that that's not the way to show your belief in God or your morality or your virtues or the kind of person you are. I think that doesn't matter.
Well,
If I believe in what I am, or if I believe I'm an honest person,
That's
then I'm
because
just as
you
Jewish as the next.
believe that everyone has the right to live their own life. But when you're in
Orthodox Judaism don't believe that.
No, they believe, just like the Khomeini believes you have to live the life like he sought to live, the Orthodox Jews believe they have to live their lives according to how it was written in the Bible,
Right.
and they adhere to that. And that's the
I'm
two
going
beliefs.
to cut this off because I don't want a religious discussion on the page.
No.
So we're going to stop for a little bit now. Thanks, Mari.
We enjoy it.
You gamblers over there. Bye. Bye.
And this is the Hale family gambling
Where? Look at this.
at
Look at the TV.
the church. Just a little extraneous shot there of how it goes. It's September 1981,
Oh, wait, there's even Ryan.
and we got a lot of action on the slot machine. That's Ryan sort of hesitatingly smiling. And there's
Daddy has to hold you so you can see yourself.
now we can zero in on that. See what kind of action there is on the old machine.
Turn your head to where you can't see. Do you have a microphone in there, really? I didn't take it.
If they get all the nickels, that's
Gonna wave again at you?
Yeah, we want to join you.
Okay.
you got that action going.
There you go, wave. Wave. There you go.
Yeah.
22.
You got 22.
Happy
Okay.
birthday. This is Ryan singing happy
Sing.
birthday.
Sing.
Oh.
Sing.
Close.
Don't wave.
Sing. Mom.
Sing.
I'm making profit.
This is the Silent Sonata. Wow. Thank you very much, Ryan.
That was good. That was good.
No. I told her she should charge him more.
Does anybody want to be? This is 1981. It's Chanukah time, and we're just taking everybody, and it's like a movie, and you don't have to say anything.
Good.
Jamie, can you duck so I can see Ron?
It's not clear how.
Ah, it's my old.
It's still Hanukkah. Jamie, why don't you duck just a second? That's right. Okay, Ron. Hi.
Uh-oh.
There's,
Lois.
Marvin and Lois. Lois, a new addition. How neat. You on TV? Do you want to have a little? Do you want to say something, Marvin? Lois? You want to say something? Alyssa? Hi. Everybody wants us to go away? Okay, we'll go away.
Introducing the Gambler. Ready? Okay. This is a holiday we came to celebrate with you. H, H, A, N, U, K, K, A, H, H.
Okay.
Dedicate this song to my auntie and all my aunts.
Who's next?
Me.
Dan. Our next musical interlude is from Mr. Danny. Thanks, Dan. Tina? Amy? Well, I'll play something.
Everybody out there in TV land, expect this to be wonderful.
Thanks, Amy and TV Studio Lamp.